Hello. So I decided to come on here to make a video. Um, I just really want to practice doing this, and I do feel this kind of yearning to express myself, totally as myself, and perhaps I can feel the constant activity of the mind that is, assessing everything and looking at how you're received and maybe trying to push something that's very amorphous into more straight lines, if that makes any sense. Um, I suppose maybe it's trying to flatten down and press down the vulnerability part of the expression, the part of the expression that is, yeah, vulnerable and unformed, and I think it can make us feel uncomfortable too, Um, yeah, and so when you have this movement, maybe to share from that place, you don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, and also you're concerned yourself about how it will be received. But in any event, one of the practices that's really helping me at the moment is anchoring into the truth that this moment is all we have. Really accepting that if time is a spiral, if we are in this mode of organic time, spiral time, that actually everything is happening now. What we perceive as the past is also happening now. I know that's a total kind of mind warp, but that is very helpful. That's very freeing, I have to say, because it's like the strictures are let go. It's all just happening now. We're here, and what is required, what is freeing, is actually to open into that and to shake off the shake off the harness, shake off the thoughts that are keeping us stuck in something. So it's hard to express, but that is really helping me at the moment. I find that very freeing. Also, to share, I came across a wonderful poet today. I'd never heard of him before, although he seems to be quite well known, Ocean Vuong. And he just gave this wonderful talk about writing and teaching and vulnerability. And it was just so wonderful, his way with words. Um, so I linked that below and just read a little bit of what he said about vulnerability. He said, I think we don't talk enough about vulnerability as a normal condition. We often see vulnerability as weakness, but when you talk to somebody, even just for half an hour, you realize that all sorts of people in every category, every identity marker, are vulnerable. That vulnerability is the most normal human condition I've ever encountered as a person spending 33 years on Earth. And I think we build barriers to hide it. We build mechanisms out of the shame of the vulnerable. But the vulnerable is actually more normal, more human than bravado or even irony, or, the masculinous mask of power. Those are very brief performances of power. But vulnerability is actually the most pervasive out of the 24 hours of the day. Is actually the most pervasive. Out of the 24 hours of the day, I would argue that we spend most of those hours feeling vulnerable. And we do everything we can to hide that because we have relegated that out of what is acceptable in society. So I tell my students to bring down the shield you've been taught since you were in kindergarten, to fortify the shield. Take down the armour and step out into your work and out into the world and collaborate with your vulnerability as the most powerful and strengthening thing you can ever do as an artist. My vulnerability is my power because it is where all care comes from. It is where all desire for improvement and my compassion comes from. My understanding that I'm a very soft species, I'm a very weak species, physically and perhaps even mentally. There's something to say about the desire to destroy vulnerability. So much in our culture we see in entertainment, books, news articles, the arenas of recreation and sports, and how we celebrate each other, how we just try to destroy vulnerability. But ironically, it is the strongest thing. It can never be destroyed, it is always there. The more we allow it to come forward, the more we are forgiving of each other for expressing vulnerability. I think the stronger you can be as both a writer, a student, and a human being. Yeah. I think what I feel a lot as well is guilt comes to me because I think I have for a long time had this shield, and I've really wanted to take it down, but yeah, I don't know whether through outside forces or through my own bad decisions, it just stayed in place, for a long time, and it caused me to disconnect, because vulnerability is what enables us to connect with people deeply, as ourselves. But yeah, I think it troubles me why I haven't been able to do that despite a strong desire to do that. I just, yeah. Okay, this video again is kind of, yeah. George Cow says do public journaling, but yeah, I doubt this would be suitable for sharing anywhere, but I'll leave it there.